Hi everyone, I'm Zencom and I am delighted to have the owner of Hades Hounds, the founder of the Cerberus zone, Geryon, here with me today. Geryon, how are you doing?
Appreciate you bringing me on and reaching out to us. So happy to be here.
Great. Geryon, just a few days ago, I think it was on last Saturday, February 12th, you made your first tweet and announced the Cerberus zone. Not even a full week later, you're already here getting interviewed. How have the last few days been for you?
But I'll say the last few days have been pretty crazy, man. After our second day, we posted our second tweet. It went slightly viral. A lot of people started reaching out. A lot of people started finding out about the project. So I've actually gotten pulled away from kind of, working and focusing on the technical side of things to this week really having a heavy focus on, building out the community on the various social media platforms, right? Twitter is like, we're really focusing a lot of effort building our community around Twitter. We also launched our Discord server also. So, I've been spending a lot of my effort really talking to, people like yourself, people who are like proactively reaching out to us on Twitter about the project, wanting to help support the project, different validators that are wanting to come on board right as we, launch. So we're a few months out from launch, but we've had a heck of a lot of support in the, it's not even been a full week yet, and we're getting a lot of people, reaching out to us. So that's kind of where my head has been really, is right, really focused on community. And I'm kind of the lead technical guy on the team also, but also kind of leading, building out the community.
Yeah, that sounds like really a lot of work. And how has your first impression been of the Cosmos community?
My first impression of the Cosmos community is definitely different than, because and we can go later into details out of my background, how I got into crypto and all that kind of stuff. But when you compare, the Cosmos community to other crypto communities, whether those are other layer one blockchains or whatnot, you'll notice that people are really about helping each other build out the Cosmos ecosystem. So instead of everyone, arguing on, about who should be the layer one blockchain to rule them all, everybody in the Cosmos ecosystem, we're all our own sovereign layer one blockchains, and we're all, can communicate and, with the IBC protocols and stuff like that. We can all, really partner with each other on these projects. So I've noticed that there's a lot of more collaboration in the Cosmos ecosystem versus some of the other, blockchain ecosystems that you have out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sounds interesting. I think we'll come back to that later. But before we talk about Cosmos and Cerberus, let's talk a little bit about yourself. You said that you were the tech lead and the CEO, somewhat.
Yeah, yeah.
Who are you actually?
Gotcha. So I kind of give a quick rundown on my background, like how I can, from what I've done early in my career to how I got here into crypto and, set up a blockchain, right? So, I've been in the tech space roughly, I'll kind of date myself here. I've been in the tech space 20 plus years, right? So I've seen a lot in the tech space as it's grown. I primarily started my career out in, software engineering, did a lot of consulting early in my career, and then actually ran several startups, and then after that I had some startups there. And then I'm actually working in big tech right now, so one of the big tech companies here in the US. So that's kind of career, what I've done, stuff like that, personal career. And kind of what got me into blockchain is I've always, I got into blockchain probably 2016 or so, really just coming in as an investor, but being a technical person, being a builder by nature, I really started digging into the underlying tech, right? So it's nice to, you make some money off of, investing in Bitcoin or whatever your asset of choice is, right? But once I dug into the different tech layers, because I wanted to understand, like, how does all this stuff work together? So roughly 2016, 2017, I started digging into, like everyone, if you come from a developer background, the first stop for you to really start learning about blockchain, development is really, Ethereum, right? Writing smart contracts and Solidity. So, I started that like anyone else who's wanting to, build, decentralized applications on, layer one blockchains. Ethereum was the choice, right? But the biggest thing is, as you know, Ethereum has some scalability issues, right? So it's great to learn, how to write smart contracts, how to build dApps, how to integrate with, the various wallets and stuff like that. But in the end, it wasn't, it's not really economically feasible to run dApps on Ethereum, right? Like just from a scaling perspective, from gas cost, stuff like that, right? So you start seeing all the different layer 2 blockchains that are out there. So I started moving over into other layer 2. So the one that I really caught my eye was Polygon, right? It allows you lower cost and gas fees, stuff like that, right? So I was actually starting to build a NFT project. 6 to 9 months ago, that's what I was doing. I was building an NFT marketplace with the team. On the plane was going to be launched on Polygon. So I really started focusing my effort on that. But, the holidays came around. I started kind of looking to see what else I could get into, right? Because Polygon was nice, where you could build your dApp on Polygon, low gas fees. The NFT thing was, the craze was out there. So we kind of hopped on the bandwagon too, said, hey, let's build out a marketplace. But then started kind of going further out into other ecosystems, because there's more than just EVM-based blockchains out there, right? You've got other things out there like Cardano and Cosmos, right? So that's when I really kind of took an interest to say, I don't know what it was. I think maybe it was a video on YouTube, or someone posted something on Twitter that kind of piqued my interest and started going deeper down the rabbit hole on Cosmos, right? So went through all the Cosmos docs, read all their docs, went through all their tutorials, started playing around with it, and I think, and I was watching a YouTube video, Crypto Keto, the other day, and they mentioned, hey, usually when a developer comes over into the Cosmos ecosystem, rarely do you see them leave. And Cosmos was one of those things that once I started going down the rabbit hole and looking deeper at what they were doing with IBC protocol, stuff like that, you kind of have that holy crap moment, like from a technical builder's perspective, like this is pretty cool. And like I said, like I've been in tech for 20 plus years, so I remember when there was like Nortel Network and Apple Talk and all these different network protocols battling for each other for supremacy. So right now I see Cosmos being that major player to really kind of change the game from a layer 1 blockchain communication standard, rather than multiple, rather than all the different layer 1s, whether it's Avalanche or whether it's Cardano or whether it's Ethereum, rather than everyone fighting with each other on who's going to be the ruler of all. I really like what Cosmos is doing around, hey, let's not try to make all these layer 1s that battle each other out and all the different tribalism, but let's build an inter-blockchain communication protocol like with IBC. So that's what really caught my eye about Cosmos. So we love it. Any builder, I think, who comes from Solidity or comes from building on Ethereum or any other EVM-based layer 1 blockchain, and they come over to Cosmos, it's highly unlikely they're going to leave Cosmos and go back to what they're doing, just because of all the freedom that you have to build your own sovereign layer 1 blockchain over. So that's like my long-winded answer to that question there for you.
Yeah, thank you. I can only fully agree with you as a developer personally. Once you dig into the Cosmos, the whole stack, starting from Tendermint over the Cosmos SDK and then the application-specific blockchain, once you really use that, you don't want to go back. And from a user perspective, it has the best user experience out there, I think. And yeah, I can only fully agree. You also mentioned, or you just started to mention your latest project, Cerberus. My first question is, you call yourself the owner of the hardest hounds. Yet your name is Geryon. The real owner of the hardest hounds was Hades, or Heracles. Why Geryon?
Yeah. So it's a name play there, right? Like why my name is Geryon. I won't go into too much detail because we're actually gonna have a contest on that. I've got a Discord channel up and running. A lot of people giving pretty good ideas on like different contests that they want to see run on Twitter or run on Discord and stuff like that. So I won't go too much into detail on that. I'm leaving that for like a trivia question for someone to figure that out. But and also kind of to give you kind of insight on the like why it's called Haiti Towns is, you know, Cerberus is the Garda of Haiti. So I'll kind of give a little bit of Greek mythology around that. I won't go too far, like I said, because we're going to have some context around, you know, our different naming conventions and stuff like that. So I won't go too deep.
Yeah, I think with the Greek mythology, you really hit a nail because there's so much to do regarding NFTs there.
Exactly.
So, it's really interesting to see what develops in the future. All right, coming back to Cerberus. You mentioned that your motivation to start your own blockchain was more curiosity of a developer or a team of developers to try out a new technology and see where it goes, right?
Yeah.
And what is the current state? Where are you at right now?
So current state right now, we're pretty far along, right? Like right now, we're primarily focusing on docs, right? Building out documentation for, you know, to get validators up and running. So we're working with a couple partners that are helping do some of that, you know, that help get other chains up and running. We have an internal team of working on documentation also. Right now, we're also doing some testing on how we want to build out our architecture and infrastructure and stuff like that, really around, you know, whether, you know, how we're going to set up, you know, peer nodes and centuries and stuff like that. Won't go too techie on everyone on that, but we're focusing a lot of efforts on that side of the house right now too, from a infrastructure perspective. And then obviously building out, you know, community and stuff like that. But from a development perspective, we're ready to launch in the next couple of months, right? Like, of course, everything's kind of tentative. You know, we've been getting a lot of questions around, hey, when is the airdrop, when snapshots, stuff like that. So we went ahead and put out FAQ. I can kind of give you, you know, if someone hasn't already seen our FAQ or already followed us. Right now, we're looking at announcing the snapshot for the Wawa airdrop in early March. So that's a tentative time frame. I don't see any reason that we can't hit that. So early March, you know, we'll be able to tell everyone, hey, if you're a Wawa staker, delegator, like here's when we're looking at doing the snapshot. Because then it gives people plenty of time. Because sometimes people, you know, don't hear about the snapshots, so they're a little late on something, and then they miss that snapshot. So we're going to try to give people pretty good heads up when we plan on doing those snapshots. So they're in the best position possible to claim those snapshots. And then the actual airdrop, we don't have a set airdrop date, but we do want to also announce the Wawa airdrop, at least when we plan on tentatively dropping that airdrop to those stakers and delegators. We want to do that sometime in mid-March also. So when do we foresee ourselves dropping on Wawa delegators and stakers? That will be announced sometime mid-March. The airdrop won't happen at that time. It'll just be an announcement on when we plan on doing that drop. And then, of course, you know, as you know, we're dropping to Atom delegators and stakers and Osmos delegators and stakers. Those are still TBD. First airdrop, because it's going to be in 3 phases. So the first airdrop's going to Wawa stakers and delegators first, and then we'll figure out, like, once we've done the airdrop for the Wawa delegators and stakers, then, you know, we'll have a pretty solid estimate on when we're going to do the Atom and Osmos. So that's where we're at tentatively right now.
Yeah, seems like you're moving in large steps. Why did you decide to drop the first round of your token to Chihuahua stakers?
So, you know, to really answer that, if you look at the airdrops that happen in the communities, right, you know, especially Cosmos, you see primarily those airdrops going to Atom stakers, people who are staking or delegating to LPs or liquidity pools, right? You never see any airdrops going to the meme coin holders, right? Like, rarely do you see that. So this is kind of hat tip to, you know, Wawa and them launching their project, right? So them launching the Chihuahua chain, right? Like, they're the first meme coin in the Cosmos ecosystem. So it's only right that we drop another meme coin on the first meme coin in the Cosmos ecosystem. So that was our thought around that. And that's the same reason why we allocated, you know, 27 billion of the airdrop to Chihuahua or Wawa, you know, delegators and stakers. That's really our reasoning behind that.
some people try to experiment with airdrops a little bit more, and they try to target a specific audience or reward specific activities. And it seems like with the Chihuahua drop, you are rewarding especially activity in the social media scene, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can dive into that a little bit if you want me to.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Yeah, so we're, and if anybody's read our Medium article, we kind of break this down, but I'll kind of go into it a little bit here is, we've got the three phases of airdrop, right? So we're dropping to, Wawa, delegators and stakers, Atom, and Osmo. But there's been a certain amount of that allocated also to just like giveaways, right? So 2 billion of the Cerberus token have been allocated to, whether we do something in Discord or whether we do something in Twitter, right? So we're focusing on that also. That way, people don't have to just, some people may not be quite as tech savvy and they may not be quite as comfortable, setting up a Kepler wallet or, maybe they don't hold Chihuahua and they're not familiar with OmniFlex and how to do all the staking, right? Like everybody's at a different level. So we want to give people an opportunity that maybe they just want to come and engage in the community and also be able to win airdrops. But then this allows us to also, if you win an airdrop, if you win a giveaway on Twitter or Discord or wherever it is, well, you gotta claim it. So this will also get people more involved in the Cosmos ecosystem and get people more comfortable, installing Kepler wallet, or whatever wallet of choice, right? There's a lot of wallets that sound like they're gonna come out to support Cosmos-based chains, right? And then this also leads us to, part of that educating people of how to, interact with various Cosmos chains. We can also, or we plan on putting out some tutorials on certain things. I think Chihuahua Chain has been pretty good at that also, training people up on, hey, this is how you do this in the Kepler wallet. So that's why we allocated a certain portion of that to kind of social media type giveaways, right? And just help draw more people into the crypto and the Cosmos ecosystem, right? So that's our thought process really behind that.
That makes totally sense. I agree. I mean, look at Shiba Inu, or how's it called, Dogecoin.
Yep.
I think most people who have little to no exposure to crypto know Bitcoin and Dogecoin. So it is indeed a great attraction for retail users who have little experience with Cosmos. So
exactly.
Great thinking there. I was reading a little bit in your announcement tweets, and a few people complained there that you don't make a fair drop. Like, it's not like you have, you need to stake 100 atoms or 10, and then you get X amount of Cerberus. You decided to make, I think you didn't completely decide on it yet, but your thought process is more like an allocation that is proportional to the holding.
Correct.
Can you explain why you made that decision?
Yeah.
Controversial.
Yeah, exactly. So as you know, like airdrops are done many different ways, right? Like I haven't been completely involved my entire time in crypto in the Cosmos ecosystem, right? So I've been involved in various other airdrops across all the different chains, right? So everybody does their airdrops a little bit differently. So kind of explain our philosophy, and I get like, we're not going to have everyone agree with, nobody's going to always agree with how, various chains do their airdrops, right? Like someone's always going to tend to not side with you. But our philosophy really behind this is, we really like to support the people, because the people who come in the different chains, whether that's Chihuahua chain, whether that's Osmo, whether that's Atom, whether there's some new chain that we don't even know about today, but someone announces it tomorrow, right? It really promotes people to come in early and support these different chains, right? Rather than just coming in and, I'll call it a money grab, right? Rather than people just coming in and trying to do a money grab to get free coins for different chains that are doing airdrops. The way we're looking at it is, it really rewards those who are early adopters, those who are really here for the technology, really here to support the networks, secure the networks by staking on various validators, or providing liquidity through the market with, staking on liquidity pools and stuff like that. So that's our real reason behind that, right? Is really we like to reward those who are really here for the right reasons, right? Because if you got in, and I'll just give an example. If you got into Chihuahua super early, right? Maybe put a couple $100 in Chihuahua. You know, you would probably be a whale when they first launched, right? You'd be probably holding so much Wawa right now that, you know, when our airdrop launched, you'd probably get a ton from us, right? So that's one piece of the reasoning behind it. And then the other reason behind this is, you know, you find people who are kind of out there just hunting for airdrops, just hunting for free money, and they'll open up multiple wallets, right? So, you know, people try to, if there's a loophole in the system, you can game the system, someone's going to try to game the system. So with the whole flat distribution of tokens, no matter if you hold 1 million or if you hold 1,000 or if you hold 100, everyone getting the same amount, well, you know, what we think people do is trying to go and open up multiple wallets, wherever that is, and try to claim the airdrop multiple times in multiple wallets, right? Like, it's a super easy way to game the system. So we want to also avoid that also. And again, like going back to that first point I was making, is really like we want to reward those people who come to the new chains within Cosmos early. You know, so for example, if you support us early and say you come in, and maybe you're not eligible for the airdrop, but you buy some of our tokens or our coins and then stake them with various delegators, right? Then you're early to our chain, and then whoever's doing another airdrop, you're rewarded because you were here early helping secure, you know, a new project like ours. So that's really our logic behind why we're doing our airdrop in the way we decided to. You know, it's a tentative plan, but we're leading heavy to that way of distributing our airdrop. More than likely, it won't change, just because, you know, that's kind of our philosophy around doing airdrops there.
Yeah, the beauty is that we're still rather early in all this crypto stuff, and we have the room to experiment a little bit. And I like that you have put in a lot of thought in how to reward specific behaviors that you find good, like early adoption of technology and not just using it or grabbing money somewhere. I think that's really cool.
Yep, exactly. And like we said, everybody will have their own philosophy to airdrops, right? Ours won't be the same as the next chain that launches next week, right?
Yeah, but I think that's totally fine, and that's the right of every project to do, because every project has a specific target audience.
Exactly.
And the airdrops, they're a useful tool to target exactly that. And you're a dog meme coin, yeah, right? And it makes 100% sense to target the Chihuahua people, because they have a dog meme coin, right?
Exactly.
That's completely right on your side. You also mentioned on your Twitter page that you are doing NFTs. Can you tell me a little bit about that too? What are your goals? What are your platform? Will you do it on your own chain?
Gotcha.
What's the idea here?
Yeah, so right now the NFT stuff is still in kind of ideation phase right now. So we're still, you know, we know that we're going to do it based on, you know, around obviously our Memecoin project, NFTs, and as we talked earlier in the call here is, you know, we're based on Greek mythology. So like there's a lot of room for your imagination to kind of go wild with what we can do with the NFT project. So right now we're still not 100% how we want to do that. And, you know, because we're doing that later this year. So we've got, you know, ample time to really solidify, you know, a plan or game plan going forward on how we want to, you know, focus our efforts on the NFT project. So that's just kind of high level there. We're still kind of thinking that stuff over right now. So not a whole lot of details to release on that. I know we had some people reach out to us on Twitter asking about it and, you know, wanting to go ahead and get promotions going, but around that on Twitter, hey, when you guys going to go deeper on that? And we kind of told everyone the same thing. Hey, we're several months out. We want to focus our effort getting mainnet launched of Cerberus network. Then we'll start really focusing our effort over there. And then the other thing that you were asking was the platform, right?
Yeah, platform. Will you do it on your own chain? I think there's some NFT modules, or will you use Stargaze, Omniflix, whatever?
Yeah, so thanks for asking. Yeah, so what we want to do is we're not going to probably do it on our own chain, because this comes down to the whole community support thing again too, right? Like, yeah, we could do it on our own chain and you know, get exposure there and further our exposure on our chain. But what we really want to do is work with the community, right? Like you said, Stargaze is one that we're really probably looking at launching on. Because then that gives exposure to another chain in the community, right? Like, we don't have to use our chain to launch our NFTs. Like, why reinvent the wheel when you've got another great project over here already helping people launch NFTs? So yeah, we're open to partnering, in the ecosystem, the Cosmos ecosystem, like you mentioned, Omniplex too. So we're open to all kinds of things. We're not going to do the NFTs on our chain because we're real big on the community support aspect of this and supporting other chains in the community and not just doing things on our chain, right? So that's kind of where our mind is on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. Another question I have for you is, what are your future plans for the Cerberus project? So we have for the next, I think, couple of months the launch, then NFT project, but what's after? What's the long-term vision? What you have?
So kind of like I explained earlier, like all of us got into, everyone on the team got into, blockchain to, for the tech, and then I moved over to Cosmos and then convinced everybody else to move over to Cosmos. So really with this project, this is kind of like a starter project for us. You can think of it as that way, right? Like, I think our main focus on this project will remain, the meme coin and NFTs for this particular project here. And then we want to launch some more serious projects out there in the Cosmos. So that's our goal. So we'll probably have multiple things going on. Right now, we've talked and discussed about doing some other projects. Nothing super solid yet, but let's just say this is like a starter Cosmos project for us. We get to learn a lot of things from different people in the community. We're working with other partners, help launch chains in the communities, other validators and stuff like that. So we're treating this as kind of learning experience right here, and then move over into something a little more serious after this project. So we'll always be here supporting the project, but by nature, I'm a builder. Like I said, I just like building stuff. So
yeah.
This one here, I'm not gonna say it's gonna get old and we're gonna throw it away. Again, we'll always be here to support it. But again, we'll probably go to something more tangible in nature as for like a real world use case.
Geryon, I can totally relate to that. And one or the other hearing this might think this is a bad thing. There's no 10-year vision, but this is actually not the case, because as far as I can tell, you're a builder, a tech guy who's genuinely curious about new technologies, and it's this kind or these kind of guys who actually shape the space. It's the curiosity of the people who want to try out new things and push the state-of-the-art experiment with airdrops, with new protocols that help us be where we're at right now. So I really like that approach.
Yeah, no, thanks. Appreciate it.
All right. You talked about doing more serious projects like protocol or something like that, or a use case to your blockchain. Will you try to combine that with Cerberus, or will you try to do it more like, for example, a protocol on Juno, so a different project, same team, different project, or more like you add a module to Cerberus and add your app-specific stuff there?
It's completely different project, so completely different, source code base. So yeah, completely different. Well, if we do add something to the Cerberus project later on, maybe the community governance or something like that, hey, we want to see this feature X, Y, Z. Like, that's when you'll see us expanding like the Cerberus code base out. But yeah, anything new, like more serious project, it'll be its own project from the ground up, right? So that's kind of our goal there.
I'm very excited to see what's coming next, because since you're dropping such a high amount of your tokens, it's usually those kind of projects who stick around long, because if you just drop, 1% of the total supply, people will get a few cents, they dump it, and then they're angry at your chain because you insulted them by wasting their time with your 10 cents or something. But since you're dropping so much, I think Cerberus has a good position to build a large community, especially with your approach towards community that you're acting on right now. So I can imagine that this project might develop some kind of life of its own. What happens when you have a large community.
Exactly. And like you said, because our reason behind that too also is it's like, we've looked at all the different tokenomics of all the different other chains, that've done airdrops, and we've noticed that, the ones like you mentioned that go further tend to drop the most tokens on the community. And again, this is primarily community focused anyways, because if you look at our token allocation for the airdrop versus like the other allocations of the tokens, you can see our growth fund or pool is roughly 11%. And then the airdrop is 71 point something percent. So we're dropping a ton of tokens or coins out on everyone over these various phases of the airdrop, right? And then, team is only getting 6%, right? And invested over a 2-year period. Again, like we're here to build something and see what we can build based on community involvement and effort, right? Because if you the Discord channel has only been up for a handful of days and we're getting a ton of ideas there. So we're really leaning on the community to, help drive this, right? Especially around a lot of our giveaways. And then also around, like, we're getting a lot of excitement around the NFTs, even though we're not quite ready to announce that. We're getting a lot of questions around the NFTs and stuff like that. So again, we're dropping 71% of the total supply across the various holders of, Wawa, Atom, and Osmosis, because, we want to reward the community for supporting the project. We're builders. We're not here to make a quick buck, right? Like, we all have day jobs. We like our day jobs. This is just something fun that, let's see how far we can build this with the community really in the end. That's kind of our view on it.
Yeah, I'm really excited about what's coming next. Geryon, is there anything else you want to share with the community?
I don't have anything in particular, like as for the project roadmap, stuff like that. We kind of hit that pretty heavy, but if you're not, following us on Twitter to kind of stay up to date on the latest things, whether that's a giveaway or whether that's like, because we've got a lot of people in the technical side of things that really want to help technically from the project. Getting involved in our Discord server, right? A lot of people in there wanting to get an understanding, hey, how can I get a validator up and running? We want to be part of the Genesis validator set, stuff like that. A lot of that conversation is going on in our Discord channel. And then you can get that, straight from our Twitter page. And then also our website has just a tentative roadmap of like where we're, how we plan on progressing up until launch. And then also there we're going to have, various documentation around, getting a validator set up and spun up. We want to make it as easy as possible for people who want to, whether that's getting actively involved in the community on Discord, or whether that's, being actively involved from a technical perspective and running validators. We want to make it as easy as possible for people to enter this space, on Cosmos, whether that's our chain or whether that's another chain, right? So that's kind of my last bit there that I would add to this particular call.
Geryon, thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you, and goodbye.
Sounds good. Thanks. You guys have a good day.